Well, turns out even if you've got the likes of double bloody cold heart on your Raid Shadow Legends account, the likes of the Spider's Den dungeon can still prove to be a massive problem. And it's no surprise, man. Spider's Den takes by far like the most specialized type of team to actually crack this dungeon and at least get down to farming stage 20 for the very first time on your Raid account. And that's why in this video, this account takeover video on Mr. Crowbox's account, we're going to be covering 3 possible teams or team types, team archetypes that you can look to build into Spider to get up to stage 20 for the very first time. Bears noting, by the way, if you're a beginner player watching this video and you're still in the very early stages of Spider, stage 10 is bugged as hell and has like an 80% drop rate on 5-star accessories in stage 10, and so that's insane. Farm at stage 10, don't advance onto stage 11 or stage 12. The drop rate of 5-star artifacts precipitously drops back down again to like 22% or something ridiculously low. And so stage 10 is bugged as crap. It's great to farm all the way until you can farm stage 16. That's the next best stage that you can farm. And then from stage 16 to stage 20. And the only reason that stage 16 is better than stage 10, by the way, is because experience brews no longer drop in stage 16. So just like the net amount of accessories that you are looting from stage 16 is just a lot better than everything beneath it, right? So yeah, there's that. Let's get into the teams, man, right after I remind you guys about the best beginner promo link in the world, which you can find down below this video at the top of the description box, man. If you're looking to start off a new Raid Shadow Legends account, man, a new free-to-play adventure, or just invite a friend to start playing Raid, send them the beginner link that's down below this video and use that link to create a new Raid account, man, for all of the free stuff that you see on screen right now. Right now is an incredible time to create a new Raid account, whilst Michelangelo is the login reward legendary champion, but that's only going to last until October 30th, so at this point the clock really is bloody well ticking, man. Get it used while you can, you might as well. Okay, man, Spider's Den. What kind of tools do you need to bring into Spider's Den? You're kind of building 2 teams into Spider. And spoilers, this is one of the teams that I had planned out for Mr. Quarox to use on his account. This isn't the team that he had locked in. His team looked like this. Bam! Which is a fine team, apart from the fact that Michelangelo exists in this team. Spider, not really one of the areas where he excels. The tools that you're looking to bring into Spider are, against the boss, you're looking to bring decreased speed debuff, 10-meter decrease, and then things to help you kill the boss faster, right? Weaken, decrease defense debuffs, that kind of thing. Against the Spiderlings, well, this is where you've got some options with the types of teams that you're building. So team option number 1 that you've got into Spider's Den, I'm actually jumping on over to my own free-to-play account here to showcase team number 1. It's by far the most simple type of team, right? What do you want to run? Something like a speed or a lead, an increased speed booster champion. You need a team to be moving decently fast. Then literally all you're going to do is have any kind of champion on the team that can place decreased defense debuff against the boss, at least ideally on an AoE like Ugo, that can place decreased defense on all enemies, and then just 3 swelled nukers. That's it. That's the team. It's the brute force method, okay? Where you take specialist AoE damage dealers, right? These may be powerful legendaries on your account. They usually are going to be powerful legendaries on your account. Like Tholen Foulbeard. Attack all enemies A1, places weaken on his A1, right? Brings another big double hit, a smack. Attack all enemies on a 3-turn on his A2. Incredible AoE damage coming off from the likes of a Tholen. Alice the Wanderer is another one. She has a big attack all enemies smack. It's on a long old cooldown if you don't have it booked on her A2, but that doesn't matter so much because whenever she kills an enemy on the active effect of her passive, she resets the cooldown of one of her skills. So she's going to instantly reset the cooldown of this A2 smack as she attacks in, right? Supreme Gallic, I mean, he's going to be placing decreased speed and, you know, do some AoE damage and AoE HP burns and that kind of thing. We'll get to HP burn teams a little bit later on, but he's bringing another bigger tackle enemies and I haven't built in a Relentless set. And so you're just stacking up 3 big AoE damage dealers. Ideally with shorter cooldowns on their skills. And I'll cover some more examples of champions you can use for a team type like this as I go on. These guys are built out, of course, 100% crit rate, high crit damage, decent speeds. The Haikatoon's running at like 260 speed or something on my free-to-play, which, you know, isn't too hard to hit. I don't have any special team instructions set up for these guys. And all they're going to do is control the Spiderlings by brute forcing their way through the Spiderlings, by just smacking the crap out of the Spiderlings, as you can see. And so this is it. This is the team, man. The healing on this team comes in from a leech debuff that's being placed by the Ugo, but if you've got enough damage and fast enough AoE nukers like this, and you've got 3 of them and they're just pumping, then you shouldn't really need any healing. Now, you could also go in and replace one of these guys with like a 10-meter controller to deal with the boss. There's one thing this team doesn't have. It's decreased 10 meter, right? It's basically got no 10 meter control. It's got a decreased speed debuff for the boss, which is going to slow the boss down. But the boss is eventually going to get off attacks and get itself healed up. The only thing you care about then is making sure that the boss isn't doing so much damage to your guys when it does get to attack that it's not killing anybody, right? That it's not one-shotting anybody on your team. And so, besides that, this is the brute force method. You know, it's nothing special or fancy to look at. It's very primitive. And it's not a fast kill either, of course, which sucks a little bit. Because as I'm sure you're about to see, the boss is eventually about to get an attack off, and then it's going to heal itself up, and it's a bit depressing. But if you can clear your way down to stage 20 by doing this, by building a team like this, and it's good enough to get the job done, which this team is, then fine. Good enough, you know, good enough. Stage 20 is the goal after all. And as you can see, we just have enough damage in the end to sort of force our way through this and get the boss dead before it gets off another attack. The champions that you can build into a brute force team like this might include the likes of a Thor. This is another incredible, I won't just cover legendaries, but Thor's another incredible attack all enemies, spam legendary damage dealer, 310 cooldown on his A3, a 310 cooldown bucked on his A2 as well. He places decreased speed on his A3. He even brings a double hit at A1 that decreases enemy 10 meter. So like a Thor is half of the job done into normal Spider because he's going to control boss 10 meter as well. And even his passive deals big bursts of AoE damage once he reaches a certain amount of thunder stacks. You know what I'm saying? So Thor's incredible for this job as well. An epic champion option that you do have is going to be the likes of a Thalesia. If you can build Thalesia with just a crap load of damage, she could do the decreased defense job on a 310 AoE on an A3, and then on an A2 she got another attack all enemy skill as well, also on a 310 cooldown. And so while she's going to struggle to keep up with the damage of a legendary option, she could definitely do the job and help you out. I will note that even Kale can do this job in a brute force team to an extent, only because he's got a 310 cooldown. On his A2 skill, his attack all enemy skill, has an extra chance of inflicting a crit and fill the 10 meter of kill by 25% for each enemy killed. So as long as you're placing AoE decreased defense, you might need to bring like an increased attack buffer and stuff like that to make sure Kale has enough damage, enough crit damage, enough attack percent, all of that, to make sure that he's getting kills. He basically gets an extra 10 from this A2 skill, so he's actually quite good at doing this job of clearing the spiderlings in Spider's Den. Up until a point. Again, it's going to be very, very difficult to have Kale doing enough damage on your account that he can one-shot waves of spiderlings in stage 20 Spider, but it's worth a pop. Hopping on over to my main account, realistically getting that brute force damage dealer team style done and set up, it's going to be very, very dependent on just having very, very high champion quality on your account. The damage dealers that can actually pull that off and keep the spiderlings wiped at all times, it might not be super accessible. So we're going to move on now to the resistance tank build. Okay, what this team's going to do is have one champion on the team that is going to take all of the attacks from the spiderlings. You're going to build this champion in high resistance gear, and so a champion that can actually do this job very, very well is the likes of a Drexthar Blood Twin, who is currently not in his resistance gear, so we're going to go ahead and switch up his build just a little bit. In this build, he's actually going to have way too much resistance. He doesn't need 377 resistance for stage 20 Spider. Something like 260 resistance, I think, 270 resistance tends to be enough and do just fine. That usually means a resistance chestplate and banner for you if you're in the earlier stages of your account. A little bit later on, you can sometimes get away with just the banner and sets. And you were going to build this champion in at least regeneration gear, if not regeneration gear and immortal gear, with this high resistance build, right? You don't always have to build in the immortal gear as well. I find that I don't have to with my Drexthar. Bear in mind as well, you can get extra resistance and defense stats and all that good stuff from relics on these champions as well, and they tend to be a pretty good fit for your resistance relics. And I will cover other resistance tanks that you can use as well, but the reason that Drexthar Blood Twin works so well is if you can just get to stage 20 using like the brute force method or whatever, even if it's not super reliable, just get to stage 20. Drexthar works as a resistance tank going into stage 20 because stage 20 is Spirit Affinity Spider. And if you look at the happy little chart right here, like the affinity types chart that we have inside of Raid, you can see that Spirit Affinity likes to attack into Force Affinity. This means that if Drexthar Blood Twin is the only Force Affinity champion on your team, then the Spirit Affinity Spiderlings are going to prefer to attack into your Drexthar, which is great because he's in regeneration gear and he's going to resist all of the poisons and he's going to have a pretty easy time surviving. And so a very, very budget team that you'll often see people use is something like this, right? With the Haikatoon as the speed aura lead, she's going to bring increased speed buffs and some 10-meter decrease as well, and all of those nice little extra tools. Going to bring along an Armager in this team and disable his A2 skill in the team preset, so he's just spamming his 10-meter control on his A1. His only job, same as the Cold Heart really in this team, is to control the boss's 10-meter, and that's it. This could be double Armager. Like, the Cold Heart here is just not necessary. She's just going to speed up the kill a little bit. In fact, you know, I'm going to swap her out, man. Screw the Cold Heart. And there it is. I'm going to go ahead and put a Ruella on the team instead. So just 10-meter control and a more reliable decreased speed debuff, which Haikatoon and Seal of the Drakes do also bring as well. The Drexthar's job on the team, again, is just to soak all of the hits from all of the Spiderlings, which, again, he's the only Force Affinity champion on the team, so they should prefer to attack him. And then we throw Seal of the Drakes on the team, another free champion, right? Just like Drexthar, completely for free. You get Drexthar from Tag Arena Gold and buying his fragments from the Tag Arena Bazaar. And Seal of the Drakes is just a login reward legendary champion. She doesn't have to be booked. Mine happens to be. She's going to help to stun up the Spiderlings a bit and just help the Drexthar to survive. She's got a revive if the Drexthar does die, and she's got some heals on her passive as well, which is also going to help to keep him alive. And so we're just going to throw this team in. And because of the Drexthar's passive skill, which has a chance to place HP burn debuff on any enemy that attacks on into him, the HP burns are just going to kill the boss and kill all of the Spiderlings, and the Drexthar's going to do like all of this team's damage, right? So again, it doesn't matter if his provoke lands or not. The stuns from the Sill are just going to reduce the damage that the Spiderlings do a little bit on the Drexthar. Everyone else in the team is just responsible for controlling the boss's 10-meter. And that's it. As long as the Drexthar lives and stays healthy, and look at him resist the poisons as they come on in. He barely takes any damage, and basically none of the poisons, or very, very few poisons, are ever going to land on the Drexthar. As long as the Drexthar lives, everybody else is safe, right? So then all we've got to do is control the boss's 10-meter. And that's really it. That's the job of this team. Now, it just happens that those spiders have been attacking at a Drexthar, and he hasn't landed a single HP burn yet, which is depressing. So hopefully we can see that happen, you know, in just a second while the camera's rolling. Oh, come on, man. Like, my Drex is booked as well. It should be very, very high land rate. And just none of them are landing. Drexthar, come on! You're embarrassing me, man, you big idiot. Okay, there we go. We finally got one HP burn to land. Usually we've landed like 7 burns by now, but they're just not landing for whatever reason. Finally, we're starting to land some now. And you'll note that as those HP burns tick on certain Spiderlings, as they get a turn, it deals a huge, huge chunk of damage to the boss. And so, that's it. That's the strategy. That's the resistance tank strategy. Now, you might say to yourself, oh, but Cobb, I don't have a Drexthar. Which, how? You should at least be on your way to getting Drexthar, you know, just from farming Tag Arena and just buying his fragments every day from the Tag Arena shop, like I already mentioned. If you don't have a Drexthar, like the account that we're actually doing a takeover for right now doesn't have a Drexthar, then you do have other options. Oh, and the boss does eventually pop to those HP burns. So again, if you don't have the Drexthar on your account, your other options would include even the likes of a Vizix, who is another login reward legendary champion. You get her after 9 months. You can build your Vizix in high resist gear. You have to have her running at like 230 speed or 240 speed just to be really quite fast for the type of champion that she is. Those might seem like pretty difficult speeds to hit if you're in like the super early game still, and fair enough, they are, you know, if you're still in the super early game. But if you can build a fast enough Vizix and have her just spam the crap out of her A3 and her A2, she's going to place an AoE provoke on a 3-turn cooldown when the skill is booked. And she can just do the job of forcing the Spiderlings to attack her via this provoke. But again, she has to be nice and fast. I'd recommend Haikatoon as the speed aura lead, so she's getting that 19% speed boost as well in the battle, as well as increased speed buffs and stuff like that from the Haikatoon. She's also going to place an AoE decreased speed on her A2 against all of the Spiderlings, which is just going to help buy her some time to getting around again to using her A3, and her A1, when she does use the A1 on the off chance, she actually steals the boss's 10-meter with this A1, which is great because she can be like partial 10-meter controller as well. Not quite as good for the job, but the champion we're going to be making do with is actually going to be the Krisk, of course, on Quarox's account, where again it's got the AoE provoke on a 3-turn cooldown. Krisk actually brings self-heals with double continuous heal buff on his A2, so Krisk actually doesn't need the regeneration set, he just needs the resistance and good speed, and he brings an attack all enemies, chance of placing decreased speed, and so Yeah, let's see if we can make it work with the Krisk. So the most difficult stage we can try out on Quarax's account here is stage 18 in Spider, and this here is indeed the team that we're going to be trying to run. So double Cold Heart as 10-meter controller, Haikatoon is the aura lead. Do I even have the Haikatoon built? I can't even remember now. We've also got to go in and change up the Krisk's build so that he has the resistance required in order to pull this off. So I went ahead and prepared a Spider build for the Krisk here. His accessories are actually the same. He's sitting at 250 resistance. It's kind of the best we can do. We're sort of out of silver, so I can't really upgrade this chest plate anymore. And his accuracy is only 198. I'd prefer this to be like 220, just to be safe. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and throw him in. His speed is also only 183, by the way, which is a bloody problem. Like, I'm pretty sure that's too slow. I'm not very confident that this team is actually going to work. The Haikatoon, I did prepare the build for her a little bit later on, a bit earlier on as well. She's only at like 190 speed. And so we have some speed issues with this team. Everything's running a little bit too slow. I've only got like, I don't know, 7 pairs of speed boots or something left on this account to actually play with, and so the options are exceptionally limited, and there's only so much we can do with that. But let's see if we can pull it off. So the Stag Knight's going to land the decreased speed straight away. The Krisk is then going to run on in, and wait a minute, what the hell did the Krisk just do? What did the Krisk just open with? That's not right. You know, I was going to let it auto, but apparently the team presets are not set up correctly here. The Krisk should have opened with the provoke there straight away. Now he's going to come in and land the provoke, which is just as well. Let's see if we have what it takes here. Cold Hearts for 10-meter control, blah, 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 you know. If you're going to run a team like this, even with a Void Affinity Provoker, the Provokes are still going to fail to land sometimes on some of the Spiderlings, as you can see. So that can be a bit of a problem. So a little bit of healing on the team is actually going to go a long way as well. Having like a Haikatoon on the team or something. A Scylla the Drakes on the team instead of like a Stag Knight is probably going to be pretty good for you. So there is that. As you can see, it looks to me like the Krisk is just running too slow to pull this off. And even the Cold Hearts are running too slow, really. They're actually going to fail to adequately control the boss's 10 meter here, which is a bit of a problem. Hopefully they can hold on, man. Wait a minute, is this the Heartseeker? It is. Oh my god, okay, it buys us all kinds of time. So if the Krisk and the Haikatoon were running like 40 speed faster each, I'm pretty sure that this team will be able to clear stage 20 without too many issues. Also, the Cold Heart on the right side here, this Cold Heart is running at like 155 speed. She's very slow, and so like she's also kind of holding us back a little bit. From making this clear nice and sure. Like, the boss is almost getting turns, which is a bloody problem. And, yeah, as you can see, the speed issues on the Krisk are going to get the Haikatoon killed in the end, which wouldn't be a problem if the Stag Knight was Scylla the Drakes, but, alas, he's not. That said, though, it would be really, really nice if we could just get the kill here as almost like proof of concept. Come on, Cold Heart number 2. Please tell me this Cold Heart's got the Heartseek ready. Tell me. Yes, there it is. Stage 18 cleared, man. That'll do. And oh, look, a resistance banner. Actually, gold dust if you're trying to build a team like this. So we'll definitely be holding on to that, even though it didn't have any speed rolls. Now, as further proof of concept for this resistance tank style build, again, it's better to just build it with the Drexstar and the Scylla of the Drakes, in my opinion. I wouldn't actually recommend that you do this, but if you've got something like a Gnarlhorn that you could use to like throw in instead of the Vizix, like a Gnarlhorn as the provoker, can do the job just fine as well into this dungeon. But I built a very, very similar team to what we've got on Quarax's account here on my main account. It's just using the Vizix instead of the Krisk, and an Armiger instead of a second Cold Heart. Besides that, it's basically the same team. While the Haikatoon is running at 247 speed, so she's running a lot faster. The Cold Heart's like 180 speed. The Armiger's 195. Not crazy speeds. You have removed some gear from some of these champions. The Vizix, why is she running at 152? Aha! It's because the Drexstar took the boots. Okay, I did remove the ring off of the Vizix, and I've even got it in just like a random crit damage amulet, as you can see. Unupgraded. It's from the Chronophage set. It gives a bit of resistance, and you get extra resistance from just having one piece of Chronophage gear equipped. Do not sleep on the Chronophage set while the event dungeon is open, people, I swear. Okay, so I've peeled back her stats a little bit by removing the ring and putting on a crap amulet that's just basically giving flat resistance. And this is what the Vizix build looks like. Her speed is like a 210, so it's nothing like crazy out of control, and this is basically the same team and what Quarax's team with Krisk could be running like on his account if he was to run something similar into stage 20 with just improved speeds on a lot of these champions. Not out of this galaxy, just improved, you know. So, yeah, the provoke's going to go from the physics, and it's going to play out much the same as you saw on Quarax's account just now, where all of the enemies are going to attack into the physics. She's going to resist everything because she's in regeneration gear, immortal gear with high resistance rolls. That's it, you know, things are going to play out very, very similar to what we just saw, but hopefully a lot more stable. And also, as you can see, the physics should be just about fast enough. Okay, she is just about fast enough with like the increased speed buffs and stuff, that the spiderlings never get to attack in without being provoked, right? She's going fast enough that she gets around again to using the provoke to keep basically 100% provoke uptime against all of these spiderlings, which also helps that she's placing AoE decreased speed against all the spiders as well. And so, yeah, she's actually quite well suited for this job. Again, not better than the Drexstar Scylla the Drake solution in my opinion, but this is something that you can do. I should also point out as well that we could very, very easily replace like the Armiger in this team, or even the Stagnite in this team, with something like a Mordecai. Somebody who's going to place AoE HP burns on everything, and that's another way that you can just massively, massively improve the clear speed of the fight. I'd be a little bit careful with mass HP burners like Skrank, for example. Champions that attack all enemies and have a chance of placing HP burn are going to kill off the spiderlings potentially at very, very bad times. Like, you don't want your physics to land the provoke, you know what I'm saying? And then for all of the spiderlings to get one-shotted because your Skrank attacked all enemies and just killed everything. And the final team type that you can run on into Spider's Den is going to be a speed kill team. Now, this is if you've got multiple champions on your account that bring max HP damage dealer skills, right? The likes of Royal Guard, enemy max HP on his A2 skill, right? Hits like a truck against Spider, enemy max HP damage. Cold Heart, we've already touched on. She hits like a bloody truck with this A3, enemy max HP damage scaling. Other options would include the likes of good old Husk over here, right? Enemy max HP, great damage dealer champion. He can do the job as well. There are others as well at the legendary variety. Honestly, if you got a Newt on your account, you could probably build him strong enough that he can do this job alone. You know, triple hitter, damage based on enemy max HP, an absolute juggernaut of a champion, right? It might be like a Newt and a Cold Heart. It might be 3 Cold Hearts can do this job. Just a lot of enemy max HP damage dealers. And what you're going to be building with this team is a team that can kill Spider in like 10 seconds. This is like a speed kill Spider team that we're going to be touching on right now. The only other things that we need to bring to this team. First of all, Royal Guard is a great aura lead because he brings ally attack aura, increasing attack in dungeons by 35% across your entire team. That's going to help out a lot with hitting the damage numbers that you need. Besides that, you want about 230% crit damage or higher on all of your max HP damage dealers. 230% or higher. It's not that tough to hit. Okay, I've had comments on videos like this in the past where I've touched on this team and said, oh yeah, it's easy to say that when you can build a 400% crit damage Royal Guard. It's like, dude, look at my Royal Guard and my Cold Hearts damage, okay? I'm gonna go in, I'm just gonna actually remove like the crit damage amulets from all of these champions right now. It's just like bump down their crit damage to something more like 250% across all of these guys. Where's the Royal Guard as well? There he is. His is already quite low. Like, it's not that great. He's on like bang on 300% pretty much, which is, you know, it'll seem high to some folks, not so much to others. It depends where your account is. Let's go ahead and dial that down to like 260%. The other tool you want to bring to a team like this is going to be an increase crit damage champion. You can get this on Archmage Helmet. He's a free champion. You get it from just clearing normal mode Doom Tower secret rooms. You're going to get his fragments eventually. You only need to have him at level 50. The only rule is that he's got to be the fastest champion on the team or the second fastest champion on the team. The next fastest champion needs to be a champion like Ruella, a champion that can place decreased defense and weaken debuff in the same skill and get these debuffs up on the boss instantly as soon as the fight starts. Ruella can do this job, Lydia can do this job, Dracomorph can do this job of the Lizardmen faction. There are a few champions, most of them legendary. Ruella is the most budget option for getting this done. And so this team is going to act as follows. We're going to rush on in, we're going to get the big old increased crit damage buffs from the Archmage Helmet, we're going to get the debuffs up from the Ruella, and then everybody's just going to one-shot the Spider. And as you can see, even with the crit damage amulets removed, it was like overkill by like 2 million or something. Like, I swear I could remove even more gear from these champions and pull this kill off. It's very champion dependent. It's a luxury team. It's one that's really fun to cover in videos because it might be a little bit easier to build on your own account than you think when you consider that Archmage helmet you get for free, and Ruella is quite accessible. Like, she's not too tough to get your hands on. It's just a regular epic champion, and then it's just a matter of having a few max HP damage dealer champions, and you can build this team to one-shot stage 20. A little bit curious, man. Back on Quarox's account here, how close are we to getting the Drexthar? Oh god, okay, we're way behind with getting Drexthar fragments. That's a little bit sad. That's a little bit sad. Okay, so what we need to do on Quarox's account here is take the champions in our Spider's Den team, and we need to drastically increase the speeds on these guys. The High Katoon needs to be fully booked. Obviously, Speeds should be gunning for at least 240 speed on the High Katoon. This Cold Heart speed, like I said, is very, very slow. Getting her up to like a 180 or even like a 190 speed is going to be very, very good. Even our Cold Heart number 1, the faster Cold Heart, could do with a good speed bump as well. The Krisk, ideally 230 speed, something like that would be very, very nice on here as well. The Stag Knight can do, you know, he can stay where he is. For now, to be honest, I just stick to farming a nice, safe stage 16 on this account, using that team. Whilst farming stage 20 and all of the other dungeons anytime a dungeon tournament pops on up. We need to start farming max rewards in basically all of these dungeons. It looks like we farmed a good bit of Spider in this tournament, so that's pretty good as well. Honestly, I'd go all the way to get the Epic Tome in basically every bloody tournament and max farm all of them. Or at least most of them. This Shredder's Wrath tournament right here, we gotta blast this on this free-to-play account as well. And so, yeah. As for Clan Boss, just before we wrap this one up, Quarox has never been able to one-key Brutal Difficulty Clan Boss, but I've gone ahead and I've switched up his builds a little bit on the account as well, and so let's see if we can pull this off. The Ninja's not booked. I don't think he's worth a place on the team. The only change that I'm going to make to the team is putting the Mausoleum Mage on the team, because he's fully booked and the Ninja isn't. The Ninja has no accuracy, and I don't have enough gear on the account to actually fix up the Ninja's build. I just have very, very limited tools to work with on the account, you know, and we're basically out of silver as well, so I'm pretty much out of things that I can do here, but after rebuilding the Farrakhan the Fat, I just wonder if we have enough damage to pull this off now. Before we got our hands on this account, the Farrakhan was running at like 50 accuracy and pretty low speed, and so, it'll be interesting to see the difference that it makes, if anything, significant, you know. Well, it is looking to me like Job might be a good one. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to leave this takeover here, man. Fixed up the Fire Knight team, fixed up the Spider team, repaired a bunch of builds. It looks like we're about to one-key Brutal Difficulty Clan Boss. All in a day's work. Well, all in most of the night's work, actually. Oh my god, it's nearly 1 in the morning right now, but I've still got stuff to do. Oh! What is it with me and just trying to do too much every week, man? Well, fight on, Mikey. You're doing great. Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. He's already gone. But you know what? That's the one key done for Brutal. This is a little bit of a bonus there right at the end. So, thanks for watching, you old man. Make sure to hit like on the video if you did indeed enjoy it. And of course, if you're looking to start off a new raid account, make sure to get that done right now by using the beginner promo link. It's down below this video at the top of the description box. Best possible beginner link to start off a new raid account in 2025. And I'm going to catch all of you guys just a tad bit later, man.